Coming into this game, 9 goals in your last four. Now, you had struggled for goals earlier this season, so that might be a bit of a relief now that you are looking more clinical in front of goal.
I don't know if it's necessarily a relief. I think it's the players becoming more confident, taking their chances. I've spoken a lot about chance creation, but not finishing them. Well, the positive thing at the moment is that we've put the ball in the back of the net more often. So, it's no coincidence that coincides with winning games. But yes, the players need to continue doing that. It was nice to see Daniel and Ryan score on Tuesday night as well. So, yeah, we're going to need that ruthless cutting edge going into the Blackpool game, definitely.
And good for Ryan, of course, he was left out of the game against Reading, comes back against Walsall, gets on the score sheet. Just what can getting goals do for strikers?
It's what they get paid to do. I think it's what they enjoy the most. I know it's what our strikers practice every single day. And Ryan, has had a bit of a difficult time. He's been in and out of the team. But what I will commend him on is his attitude. He's been exceptionally professional. And, the thing for strikers is, especially at that end of the pitch, is that everything can change really quickly. You get one goal, that snowballs into 2 and 3 on, and so forth. So, no, we're in a fortunate position that both of our strikers that we have at the club right now, in terms of available for the next game, scored on Tuesday night. So confidence for them should be high.
You spoke after the Reading and the Walsall game about defensive errors and being a bit sharper and more aware at the back. Is that something that's been sort of a main focus in training this week?
So I've spoken to the players a lot about, because what you can't do is you can't give teams a head start. That's what we've done in our last 2 home games. We've showed fantastic character and resilience to get back into those games and go on and win both games. But I spoke to the players after the game on Tuesday night. It can't become a habit. And those errors at the moment are costing us goals, but not costing us results. But we've just got to make sure that concentration levels are as high as they possibly can be, especially going into what will be a really difficult game on Saturday.
You also commended the academy, and there are several young players featuring on Tuesday. Just how long have they been in and around the first team for?
So they've been up here today, they trained today. We did a session with 12, 13 academy players, which is great. It allows us to get the exposure that our players need, first and foremost the first team lads, the ones that missed playing a game on Tuesday. And it also is really important for us to keep eyes on them. And, I've spoken about it before. It's just, I feel it's really important that we know as much as we can about our youth team players. But that's not just the under-18s, that's the 16s, the 15s, because you know just how important they are to us. I mean, Shrewsbury have got a history of producing players as well. So we want to continue doing that and seeing so many of the players involved. And by the way, I must commend them on their attitude and their performance on Tuesday night. It was excellent. And, the next thing for them now is to earn their professional contracts, to continue performing well. The first team staff will definitely go and watch their games like we have done all season. So I think that unity of the football club is really important to me between the academy and the first team.
And why is it so important for young players to be in and around the senior team setup?
I think because we don't have a team that bridges that gap, i.e. an under-21s or 23s, it's important for players and young players to understand what it entails to be a footballer, because at times they can focus on the wrong things. And our message is very clear here, that first and foremost you have to work hard, as simple as that sounds. And it's important for the young players to see the seniors and just how they do it in the examples they set. Where we're very fortunate here is, I've said it, we've got some really good senior players here who every day approach training with the correct attitude. So, they're undoubtedly talented. It's now a case of trying to help them to understand that it's the hard work that will get them where they want to go.
Blackpool at the weekend, what sort of game are you expecting heading there?
A difficult one where they're a good team at home, right? They've got a very clear philosophy of how they want to play. They've got good options at the top of the pitch. They're a team that will be high on confidence. I feel it's a game that, if we approach in the correct manner, which I know we will, is one that we can be, full of confidence going into. Because I look at our last result, and it it was a really positive one against Reading. The thing that we need to do, regardless of the opposition, is be more consistent in our performance away from home. Because at home, I think I can stand here and argue now that that's one thing that we have done at home recently. So it's away from home now where we need to take that belief that we've got at home into the fixture at Bloomfield Road on Saturday. We know it's going to be a difficult game. It's a long way for our supporters to come and follow us, but I know that they'll be there, and it's vital importance to me that our players go out and put on a performance and try and pick up a positive result. Where I would suggest going into it, Blackpool look at it as maybe one where they expect to get 3 points, but the one thing we can say from us as a group is that it'll be a really difficult game for them.
You say you want to find that more consistency on the road. Why do you think it is you haven't found that just yet?
Listen, I played for 21, 22 years, and I don't know if I found the answer to that question while I was playing. It's just, we seem to have a mindset at home where it doesn't matter. If we concede a goal, it doesn't matter. We're going to continue, and a real confidence at home. But we need to find more of that away. Now, if you're asking me to put my finger on that, I think it just boils down to maybe understanding that we are a good team. And even if the worst happens and you concede a goal, continue believing in what the process is, put that into play and go out there and perform, because whether you play home or away shouldn't have a positive or a negative impact. We've already won away from home this season, so I'm not asking the players to do anything they haven't done. So hopefully that continues on Saturday.
And you mentioned earlier about going behind, but the belief to get back into games. I know you don't want to keep chasing games, but against Colchester, Reading and Walsall, went behind in all those games. Is that sort of what the players can use, that you've shown you can come from behind?
I think what it shows more than anything is that there is a togetherness in the team, there's togetherness in the squad, and I think that also runs deeper than that in terms of the football club. So look, we've come back in games, and while that's wonderful, I'd rather we didn't go behind. If you go behind to a wonderful goal that you can't do anything about, you don't mind. What we have to do is make sure that we stop gifting goals to the opposition. So, especially with this game on Saturday, because I feel it is one that if we approach it and we carry out the game plan correctly, we've got a great chance of getting a positive result from.
Yeah, and Blackpool, they've conceded quite a few goals in their recent games heading into today. Where can you hurt them going into Saturday?
Well, I'm probably not going to answer that question.
No, that's
all right. You're probably asking me to give a little bit too much of the game away in terms of what we're going to do. But we know that we've got areas of the pitch in which we can exploit, but also knowing that at the other end we need to be really resilient, because they have players that can really hurt you.
You've got over several hundred fans backing you this weekend as well. Just what does that do for the team, when you have got quite a populated away end?
Should give the players, when they walk out on Saturday, it should make the hairs on the back of their neck stand up, because to see our loyal supporters coming all the way to Blackpool to support them and spending their hard-earned money, right? And we know it's not cheap to watch football nowadays. It's not cheap to travel, so we understand that. But it should make them feel that a little bit taller, should make them feel a little bit more confident, because our supporters are travelling away because there's an expectation on the group of players that we have here to get a positive result.
And just finally, Matt, you're still fairly young. You're a young manager. What have you learned in your opening few months at Shrewsbury? It's not about yourself, but your understanding of the game. Do you feel like you're learning every day as you go?
Yes, yeah. Every day's a learning day. I think that if everything in life is always easy, you never go through, and you don't go through any tough times, you don't build up resilience. So the thing for me is to continue on that personal journey along with the staff, but that also includes the players. So it's imperative that they learn on a daily basis as well, and we will do that. Are we where we want to be right now? No. But I would hasten to add, you could probably ask most managers and head coaches up and down the country, and they'd probably argue that they're not where they want to be. It's a process, it takes time, but the most important thing for me is to continue learning. But the one thing I will say to you is that whilst we're extremely professional, it's important you come to work with a smile on your face every day.
Is that sort of the attitude you're going with every day? But you want them to be disciplined, but you want them to enjoy it as well.
We're going to spend 10 months together, 11 months of a season. You can't come into work every single day and not laugh, not smile, because, you know, we do have a very professional group here. We work extremely hard as a group of staff and as a group of players, but there has to be a point at which you've got to be able to have a laugh with each other.
And just finally, any fresh injury concerns or worries heading into the weekend?
As of yet, no. Morgan Feeney's been back on the grass for 3 or 4 days now, which is really positive. We're hopeful that there aren't any new injuries that we don't know about going into the weekend, but we've got another training session tomorrow, so I think we might have to wrap them up and cross them all and make sure that everyone's okay for Saturday.